Today I'm going to show you how to send an email from your Kartra account. This is a pretty simple process. We're going to get started just in my account here. You can see that I'm on my dashboard page. This is what I see when I log in. If I want to send a single email, so that's what we're going to talk about today. There is a difference between automated emails, like a series of emails that you can send out. You would do that with sequences. But today we're talking about single send email, or you might think about it as like an on-demand email. Anytime that you sit down and think, okay, today I'm going to write an email, send it out, or I'm going to put it together and it needs to go out tomorrow or on the weekend or something like that. So you can schedule it to go out at a certain time. The place that you do that is you go to the marketing section in your sidebar here, and we're going to click on emails and SMS. So beginning a new email, in the top right corner, click plus email SMS. And this broadcast builder here does give you the option to go with to create an email, and that's what we're doing today. It also gives you the option to do text message SMS broadcasts. That's a topic for another video, but this is where you would initiate that as well. So we're starting with email. For this one, let's say I'm going to do a promo announcement. I've got one coming up this weekend. I'm going to create that. In this main section here, you can select from a variety of templates, including ones that you've created and saved yourself. So you see here, some of these have this little heart on them. That means that those are custom templates that I have created and saved in the past. But you can scroll through here, and there's a lot of other templates as well that you can choose from that are these kind of rich text designs. So you can use any one of those, or we can also just select a plain text one. So we'll keep the plain text selected. I'm going to just do kind of like a letter format. So creating that email. And this automatically generates the email for me. It fills in a lot of the settings, but we're going to go through each one just to make sure that it reflects what I need it, how I need it to operate, but then also add my own message. So in the very first settings tab here under message, I've got a preview here of what it looks like currently. So this is the default that it generated for plain text. So I'm going to click edit message to open that builder. And actually, today I'm going to show you how to generate content quickly with Kartra AI, which is a great time saver. This is available for pages and also for emails as well. So we're looking at it in the email context. So if I click generate with AI, it prompts me to enter in, an explanation of what I need. I can also select the tone and then my language so that it generates content in the language that I intend. So in this case, I'm writing a promotional email for my weekend sale. Keep it short. So you can enter the request that you enter in here really can be anything, right? So I want the AI to give me something that is like short and to the point. I know that my readers are busy, they have minimal time to read email. So this is just going to be like a quick blast. I'm offering 30% off, let's say, my course for 2 days only. I want the prompt the reader, sorry, to click through and go to my sales page. Okay, so in here, in this prompt, I'm telling the AI basically what kind of content I want, what my sort of criteria are for the message. It's, I want it to be short to appeal to a busy reader. And then I'm telling it at the end here that I want this call to action, essentially. So I've got, let's see, I'm going to have a conversational tone on this. I'm not going to include my business settings because I don't need that for this. So we'll go use the AI. and then this will generate some content for you. So from here, you can look it over, see what you think, and either you can either ask it to refine it, so you can tweak the results by entering an additional prompt to say, like, this is good, but I want the tone to be slightly different, or that kind of thing. Or you can just go ahead and accept the content. So for me, I'm going to accept it here. I like this subject fine. I'm going to add a preview text, which is optional, but I like to do it. And I'm going to mirror this, what they're saying here. Trying to kind of keep that sense of urgency in here. And then in the message itself, I want to go through and edit the message so that it suits what I'm saying, what I want to tell them. Okay, and you notice that there are some variables in here. So this is a variable here, and I deleted a couple other ones as well. The AI will sometimes add variables that don't quite suit what you're doing, so make sure you pay attention to that. And then if you want to add additional personalization, you can do that by clicking here. There are some other variables that you can use depending on what custom information you want to add personalization to the message. So in my case, I'm fine to just keep it with the person's name, and we'll do that. I'm going to replace this with my name. Thank you for being a loyal customer. And so yeah, so here is where I would add in a link to my sales page, right? Because this is what I want them to click. So I need to come back, make sure that I have that link and come back and add that. Or even better, if you have it ready to go first. So from here, you can continue to customize this if you want to. You can add other kind of media, add images in here. If you change your mind and you decide, I really want something that's a little bit more design worthy, a little bit more flashy, you can also change your template by clicking select template there. And you can choose one of these. Just keep in mind that if you do apply a new template, it will replace the content that you have in here. So if you want to keep this text, just copy it and save it externally before you change the template. So next thing we want to do is send myself a test email. So the reason that I'm doing this is because I want to make sure that the message that I just created is going to look nice in someone's inbox, right? So I enter my own email address here, and you can send a test. And then just take note that this test email is going to come from notifications@kartra.com. And that is specifically because the test is kind of like a database process. It's not like a live delivery. So we go from there. And then if I go to my inbox, I can look and see what it looks like. Here it is in my inbox. You can see exactly what it looks like. We've got our subject line here, and then this is the message. This is where my link would be. It is important to make sure that you add your links and things like that before you're testing, because you want to be able to test those links in your test process. Make sure that they actually go to the right place and you're not redirecting people somewhere you don't need them to go. One other thing I want to just mention is you notice that this says test. Anytime that you send a test email using that button inside the builder, any variable that you have in the message is just going to show up as test, because you're not actually sending to a specific lead, and so it doesn't have information to populate. So you'll see those tests, the test text, but in the live version, it will show the actual person's name or whatever the variable represents. All right, so back in the broadcast builder, I am happy with how that looked. So I'm going to go action, save and exit. And that's great. Now it shows me a preview of my updated email here. So from there, we need to configure the rest of the settings for this email. So next we'll go to from to say who's this message going to come from and who should receive it. So at the very top, we're going to configure who it comes from. You can change this and select if you have a different email gateway that you want to use, you can. Kartra Mail is the default for every new account, so that should be fine to leave. We'll deliver your emails for you. And then whatever you want to have show up in the person's email inbox, right? So if they are logging into Gmail or they're logging into Apple Mail, what name do you want them to see in their list of new emails? This is who it's come from. So I might say it's from my full name or it's from uh, Becky with Kartra, for example. And then I want to put in what email address I'm going to use as the who did it come from, and then what email address that I want to use if the person replies to the message, where should their reply go? Now, something I want to mention about this is that you're going to have a default placeholder email like these where it says @kartra.com in your new account as well. But these are not actually real email addresses. So you don't have although they can be used as like the kind of the placeholder. Well, it really is a placeholder. It's just what the person will see in their inbox. If the person replies to this, Becky at Kartra, I will not receive their email, and they will receive a message saying that it couldn't be delivered because this address doesn't exist. So it's highly recommended that you do add your own email addresses in here. If you have a business domain, that is the best way to go. Your name at yourbusiness.com. And make sure that you use an email address where people can actually reach you in this reply to field, because then they can respond, they can ask questions, they can engage, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to leave this as it is for now, but you want to make sure you come in and update those areas. Now, communication recipients is the next, maybe it's the most important thing. This is who is going to receive this message. The default you'll see here is only me. That's there if you want to do a live test of the email. You could send it right now and it would send it to you live, so you see how that works. We're going to remove that. So delete the only me condition. And then choose from the drop downs who should receive this email. So there are a lot of different ways that you can determine the criteria for an email recipient. What I really recommend is that you start with a list subscription as your first criteria, and then you can also use additional criteria if you want to kind of drill down and get more specific with how you're targeting this email. So if I'm going to say, first of all, I know that every person that opts in through a form in my account, every person that purchases a product from me, everything, all of those people go on my master mailing list. So I'm going to start with that. They have to be on my master mailing list in order to get any email from me. And then I might say, I also want them to have a tag saying that they have done something. Let's see. Maybe I'm sending this promotion specifically to people who have looked at my checkouts before but never made a purchase. And so I'm going to use my cart abandonment tag as a criteria. So we'll say if they abandoned my primary offer, that's what this P1 is for, then I'm going to send them an email. So here's my criteria is that they have to be subscribed to my main mailing list and they have abandoned a cart in the past for this specific product. So that helps me narrow down exactly who I'm sending this message to and who I'm going to notify about this offer. Now, I don't have to do this secondary condition. I could just leave it at the master list only, but that's just to show how you can kind of break that down. So we've got our recipients and we've got our sender set up. Then next we have automations. We can add some automation if we want to trigger any additional follow-up based on how a user interacts with these emails or a recipient interacts with them. I'm just going to leave this for now. I don't need to necessarily track anything specific. I'm just going to send the email out. Once I actually send it, I will be able to see, we have no results here because it hasn't been sent, but I will be able to see things like how many people it was sent to, here, how many people opened it, how many people clicked a link inside it. So you can see, like, did they actually click your offer link? And those things will automatically be tracked, so you don't have to worry about trying to cover that with automations. Automations is really just more of an advanced, like, post message workflow. So, so that's it. We've got our messages set up. It's all fully configured. We used AI to make that super easy. We've got our recipients configured. Who's going to get this? We've got it. Who's the sender? We've got that configured. And now I am ready to send this. So I can either send it immediately, just do it right now, or I can schedule it to go out later. And so in this case, maybe I really specifically want this to go on the weekend. I'm going to say I'm going to do it on Saturday, and I want this to go out at 10 a.m. We're going to give people some time to sleep in before they get this message. So 10 a.m. on Saturday. And this, just as a note, the time zone, the date and time here is based on whatever you have the time zone set for your account. So it's not going to be like the recipient's time zone, it'll be your time zone. So in my case, I'm in the US Central time zone. I have that set for my account, so I know that this is going to go out at 10 a.m. US Central. Okay, so I'm going to click done. That's all ready to go. And now my status up here has been updated to it is scheduled, and this is the time that it's going to send. And that's it. That is how we send an email. So now I do want to show you one more thing. So that's kind of covering the basics of here's how we send to a group, here's how we would send to a whole list. But there is another option you can do for this type of an email, and that is to send something specifically just to one person or to a few specific people. And the way that you would do that is you go into your contacts and start there. And in your contact list, select the people that you want to send your email to. So you can get real specific. Could be, like I said, it could just be to one person if you wanted. So select the people that you want to send a message to. And then in the top right here, there's this little action button, email selected leads. So you click that envelope and it takes you straight into the email launcher, right? So specific group, we'll just go with plain text again, and I'll show you how this looks in here so you have some context for this in the recipient area. So you do exactly the same like we just went through. You would edit your message within the builder here. And in the from to step, this is where you already have this part defined for recipients, is that you have a custom segment defined. And that was because you went to contacts first, selected the people that you want to receive it, and you can see we had 3 contacts selected. And so now when you send this email, it's only going to go to those 3 people instead of you having to further define like a whole group or a broader segment. So that is it. That's how you send an email. That's how you send a one-off kind of you can do it for an offer, you can do just a check-in, you can do a newsletter, any other kind of email that you need to send to people on your list. You can do that from the broadcast area here by starting in emails and SMS. I hope that was helpful, and I will see you again in the next video.